Hello and welcome back to the Way to Native Chronicles. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in a missing bit here because I've done several videos on butchering hindquarters of bear and deer and moose, but I've never done a video on butchering the front leg. So that's what I'd like to do today, and I just happen to have this nice front quarter of moose that my wife and I got last week. It's been hanging for about a week and it's time to butcher this thing up. Now, to be quite honest, I'm usually less clear on butchering the front leg because of the weird bone shape. And if you want an example of what I mean, that's this. This is a shoulder blade taken from an old moose we got, and we use this for rattling the bush. It makes a real good sound, so that's why we keep it. But you'll notice it's got a ridge down the top of it there, and you have to keep that in mind, knowing what your structure of your animal is. So if you look at this hindquarter here, this fits on there roughly about like so, and that means that the ridge is coming down on the animal right around here. So we're going to have to carve our blade stakes out of this depression here, and then around here it gets a little tricky because it wraps all the way around the bone in front. So that's one of the reasons why I find it always a little more kind of iffy doing the front leg, but I'm going to show you how I do it. So watch this video and maybe learn a few things, and I hope you subscribe to the channel and click like if you do, because that's what tells YouTube the kind of content that people like and want to see more of. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I gotta do here is figure out where to start. Now, we've got a big leg here. It's a lot to handle. You can see the shoulder blade is exposed there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to separate this seam. You can see there's a bit of a seam right here. And I'm going to try to peel this back, because if you see this shoulder blade, this part here is where most of the meat is. Now, I've got two knives with me in case it's too heavy to cut, but this knife here is really sharpened to a fine edge, and it usually does the trick. So you want to have a real sharp knife when you're doing butchering. That's primary, and keep on sharpening it as you're going, because a dull knife is one that can skip around and catch you. You have to apply too much pressure. Let's just take this. We've got solid bone here. There we go. Now I've got a seam here too, I think. I'm going to take this down here. Take this piece here off. Don't need that right now. And then this one, this kind of sort of sheathing meat. It's a thin layer of meat over top of a larger piece. Sheathing is the right name for it, but and my wife has been emphasizing to me to cut off the hard shell as much as I can, so she has less work to do later on, so might as well do this. That's where having a sharp knife comes in handy. Now, I think I got a seam here that I could take off. Yeah, there's the seam. One thing about working on the front leg is it's not the super prime meat that the hind leg is, so actually it's a little less pressure on you to not make a mistake. As you can see, I'm just following this seam here. Not sure always where it leads. Okay. You know what I always say when it comes to butchering, even with skinning too, so if you're getting into a stuck place, you don't know if you're going in the right direction or not, best thing is just to move somewhere else on the animal and start doing that, and soon enough you're gonna wind up with a the meat just sort of comes apart like it is here, and I can see, and I'm also keeping an eye on where the seams are. Like it looks like there's a seam coming down here, so I can might even come on underneath it and break it out like that too. Don't want to cut towards my hands if I can help it. I think I'm coming to the end of this piece of sheathing here. So you give it lots of ripping pressure. See, this is just a thin piece of meat here. This is basically stew meat that's coming off here. You can put it in the grinder and you'll be just fine for that. But you wouldn't want to be putting that on the table as a steak, that's for sure. Okay, now I've got that off. Let's see what we can do next. Now, okay, now let's see. Let's figure out what we're going to do here. Maybe try to do this some more. I think we're going to have to take a little bit of meat off this with it. Try to shave off as little as you can. Okay. That hard outer shell, it's got to go anyways, so So I'll get that off now. It's kind of like peeling potatoes, eh? Or whatever. Now, you don't want to take off more than you need to, but it's sort of a judgment call, eh? Okay. Now, work it towards there. So if I bring this, shave this right down to the bone, and then move this piece of meat ahead, it'll help reveal to me where things are going, right? I'm no professional butcher, as you can see. I'm working against quite a bit of bone here, so I will want to sharpen my knife more frequently. Let's keep it nice and sharp. I think I feel it getting a little bit dull. We having fun yet? We got another front leg to do after this one. Okay. Which I won't show on this video, the second one. Just do one, okay? Now, you know what? I think I see what my problem is. This is reversed. Yeah. The ridge bone is here. So, okay. So I went wrong with this bone, realizing this is from the other leg. And actually, the other leg, the ridge falls down along this side here. So in a way, I can feel that actually very easily. I should have just gone ahead and not looked at that bone, I guess, because it actually led me astray. But nothing really wasted. I just made a couple of cuts here that I shouldn't, but that's not the end of the world. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to follow this ridge. I can feel it very clearly. It's just that I was so convinced that it had to be on the other side by looking at that bone. Okay, let's take this guy and start shaving him away. Hopefully you can see that. It's coming off very nicely. I hope YouTube doesn't mind this video. We've actually been pretty good as far as butchering videos go. So I think their algorithms are maybe getting smart enough to realize that this is not blood and gore for its own sake, that type of thing. For shock value. We're just trying to do a job here, right? This is part of meat production that every butcher shop goes to, so there shouldn't be any grand inquiry into what's going on here, right? We're eating all this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to just carve right down along here and just pull it this way if I can, because really when you get to this end it's like the cut never stops and it just keeps on going around the leg. So I'm going to have to make some decisions there. Boy, that casing is hard. Just cut that off. much easier now. I think I'm getting sort of to the end of that ridge. This is coming off really nice. Actually, I'm quite happy with this so far. All going through there, looking for seams. Sort of seems that there's a seam going along through here where I started before. So I'm just going to bring this down right to there. Yeah, now you can see here I'm getting to the edge of that bone, so it's following right along here. So what I'm going to do, I wonder, is there a seam there? I'll just take that right to the bone there. I'm just going to cut this across here. So I say, like, front legs are kind of confusing. It's just hard to tell where you got to go. I think there's a seam here, but I might have missed it. Yeah, there is a seam there. Yeah, there's a seam. Oh, this guy's heavy. It's good to have a good cutting board for this kind of stuff. You can lay this stuff on cardboard and stuff too, but then when you move stuff around or twirl it around, then it's not so good anymore because it takes the cardboard with it. Okay, I'm getting a mighty big blade roast off this guy. Not sure what's so hard here. Okay. Okay, where am I going here? You know what? I might just take this off right here. I think. There we go. There. That's a pretty big blade roast. Not too bad. Not done too badly. So, I don't have my meat buckets here yet, but now we can see pretty clearly what's going on with this shoulder blade. And I've hollowed that whole big blade stake, I think it's called a blade stake, out of there. Now, once we get into this stuff here, it's a little tricky, to be honest. Maybe I'll take this side here down. Get this bone out of here. Let's get this down. Should take this. I guess I'll take this off, clear up what's going on underneath here. That shell meat off there, then you can see better where the muscle structure underneath it. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so now I can see a whole lot better what I'm doing, I think. You can see a seam here. A lot of times I'm kind of guessing what the camera can see. So I've got one mounted over here too. So if I go out of camera once in a while and you don't know what I'm doing, I'm sorry. Doing the best I can. But it's not going to be a short video. It takes a little while. But I'm just kind of figuring that, you know, for some people, this is worth their time. You know, if you watch something like this, before you do a front leg of a moose or even a deer or something else, it gives you a little bit of an idea, especially when it comes to the shoulder blade construction. So I got this. I got a whole bunch of bone sitting around here, knuckle. Gotta be careful with my fingers, but yeah, so here's where the shoulder blade ends. And I could probably come around here. There's kind of a knuckle there. So I'm gonna come on down through there, like this. And I want to get this piece here off, right? So to do that, I'm gonna come down on this side of the ridge. Until that ridge ends. There we go. Hope you can see that. Separating out nicely. And here's where I begin just stroking the knife right on the bone where the meat meets the bone. Probably won't be able to see it really clearly on the camera here, but that's basically how you do it. It's the same way as what you do when you're taking the backstrap out of the moose too, eh? Go down the backbone and you make a cut down it, and then you start. Yeah, what's going on here? And then you can start, once you've got your cut right down the backbone, then you just start to shovel it away from the bone underneath, and you basically let your knife be your guide. The knife will just slide along the bone. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm making progress. It's good to start from an end quite often, because then you can do the shoveling out from there. Let's see, now that I've got it loosened off here, it's coming off quite easily. It's a big boy. Now I have to start feeling around the knuckle joints to get this front part off. This is one of the reasons I prefer a knife. It's got a very skinny, pointy blade. I can just kind of explore around. And I should be able to get this piece off here. Just going to bring that straight down. Perfection, right? And take it off this casing. Just taking some of that casing meat off while I'm at it here. Let's take this off too. My wife's going to be very happy with me for taking all that casing meat off. So there's a nice chunk of muscle. We'll put that in the bucket. My wife's come and picked one up while I wasn't looking already. So she's starting to work on this stuff already. That's good. Now, let's see what else we can do here. I think I got... This is oddball type muscle groups here. Going along the bone again. So I'm taking that off. And what I can do is I could take this front piece off, maybe sharpen my knife a little bit first. Yeah, it's one thing to make film, but I've got to get the job done too, right? And I'm just happy to have you guys along for the ride, guys and gals. Okay, I'm working on the top part here for now, getting ready to flip it over at some point. As long as I can see seams that need to be cut, I'll just keep on going here. See, like this casing meat here, that just covers up the muzzle structure, so it's nice to get it out of the way. Then you can see underneath, see how the muscles are shaped, eh? I'll just get that off of there. Yeah, hitting bone there. Okay, so that's about there. Now we got a muscle right there. That's kind of cool. Okay, now I could start to take this off the bone, because the bone is going down along here now, right? So let's see here. Sharpen up this knife a little. As I said before, as soon as you're starting to contact bone, this is it's not so much the case with a hunting knife where you put a little steeper angle on the cutting edge to make it a working edge that holds up. But on my butcher knife, I've cut it to, I don't know, like it's a 30-degree angle, I think it is, maybe 35. And so it's a very delicate blade. It'll bend, fold over easy if you put it against bone. So when I put it against that sharpening steel there, I'm shaping it, but I'm also setting the edge up again because it folds over. It's so thin, and then you just set it up on with your steel. So now that I got a temporarily sharp blade again, I'm going to try to loosen this muscle off the front of this knee here. And again, I'm just going to be exploring with the tip of the knife to see where the boundaries of the bone are. And you know, while I'm thinking about it, I can take this. There's another seam here. I think I can take that off here. Clear the way a little bit. There's obviously seam in the meat here, right? Let's just clear that out of the way. Give ourselves some working room. Quite often I just get carried away on tangents when I'm butchering anyways, and start somewhere and then 5 minutes later I'm still following that rabbit hole. Okay. You see that? That's following the bone quite nicely. Okay, so notice anything different in this picture? Yeah, I was working on this. I wasn't cutting, I was just going to move my knife to go to a different position. And I look, the point on this knife is so sharp. So I just accidentally was moving the knife in to go in to make a cut and just punched it right into the top of my thumb. So my wife has me all fixed up again. She's chewed me out good. Told me I should wear gloves, but I'm still not going to. And let's just continue on here then. It doesn't hurt at all. It's so sharp in the knife that you don't even feel it. Now, let's see here. I wonder if I can go along the edge of this bone yet. That bone still comes out there. Okay, I'm going to work on that side. I'm going to see what I can get done here. You know, I can cut this piece right out of here. Let's see that. Yeah. There we go. There's a piece that can come right out of here. Make it easier to work. This should come right off the bone here, I think. Yeah. Be careful not to poke myself with the point of that knife again. I tend to think about avoiding cutting yourself with the blade, but it's the point that can also get you pretty good, as this little demonstration shows. That's a good piece of meat. Okay, let's see what we can get off here. I don't have to be that careful on some of this lower leg meat, because getting it all off in perfect muscle groups and things like that, because once I bring it inside, my wife's just going to chop it up and cube it up, I think, anyways, for stew meat. But try to do it the right way, best I can. I'm following the seam here and there. Take this guy out. When you pull out muscle groups, it actually makes it easier later on, because when I move to the other side, right now I can see what's going on here. I think I'm going to just bring this cut right down here like that, and right over like that. That's good. So there's another nice chunk of stew meat. Hey, well, you know, if I'm sitting here anyways, I'm just going to work on what I can see. I know I'm kind of cutting towards myself, but I'm in deep meat here, so I'll let it go this time. I think there's a seam right here. Bring this down here. Sort of guessing where the bone is, but I'd like to open it up a little bit. I better not cut myself again, or else I'll be in real trouble. Really get crap for it. I'm gonna I can see there's a seam here. So we're gonna come down here. I'm gonna cut through this. There's a seam right there. You see that, eh? There we go. That's another muscle. Let's see, where can we take this guy? Just take it right down here. And basically trying to skin it off that hardened shell on the outside best I can. I think my knife is getting pretty dull again. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I think maybe I gotta start moving to the top side. Flip this thing over, but I could maybe loosen this off here. Move this thing over so I can be cutting away from myself. Okay. There's another guy. We're getting there. Getting there slowly. See this here? That's kind of interesting. See, there's a separate muscle right there. So even though I don't know my anatomy that well, I can kind of discover where the muscles are as I go along. At least it sure seems like this is trying to stroke along, finding where the muscle group is. Let me just take this piece off. Along with that hard casing. There. So got that off. Okay, let's see, can I bring this down a little more? Oh, that's getting right against the bone there. This is kind of, I could skin this, take this piece off that casing so my wife doesn't have to do it. To let the meat hang, then its own weight helps to pull it off of what you're skinning it off of. Like I said, this is stew meat, so this is just piecing. So let's flip this guy over and see what we can do here. No, you know what? I'm gonna try to do some more on this side. Yeah, might as well. It's almost like work. Doesn't hurt to stop and take a look and think about what you're doing sometimes too. Okay. Gotta come along the edge of this bone here. Yeah, I find doing the front quarters to be a lot harder than doing the hind quarters. And it's just so confusing. You don't know where you're going half the time. Because the muscles all go dive and intertwine and everything. It's just dog's breakfast. But it can be done. So let's see here. Okay, so now I'm cutting along the underside of there, and I'm kind of tempted to take through here if I can. There we go. Let's go past that knuckle. Yeah, okay. So now, oh yeah, let's see where I was going here. Okay, yeah. Now, this may not be real good for the camera view, but what I'm looking at when I'm holding it in this way, the meat is being stressed along its seams, and it's just kind of opening up on its own for me, which is what I always prefer. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Now, see, now I can take that right around the knuckle. It is actually helpful when doing this stuff if you had somebody to hold onto two hands, eh? But it can be done with one. Yeah. So I'm getting ready to take off a pretty big ham here. Just wondering how far I should go. Thinking I might just want to just bring it straight across. I mean, I could skin it right around the bone like that. Hopefully you can see that. See that? I'm just going to come right through here. Separate that off. Like so. Looking good? I think so, eh? There we go. This is a big chunk of meat here. I could take this. Going right down along the seam here, which is good. Oh boy. It's coming along. You know, it makes so much difference once you sharpen the knife a little. As soon as you find yourself stroking against stuff and it's not just gliding through, just get on that sharpener right away. That's the best way. Okay, so now we got this guy here. It's kind of that rubbery stuff. That's why you depend on your knife to find the way. Some of the stuff you're going through thick blood vessels and stuff like that. Okay, so now we got this. I could maybe break it down a little bit more. That piece, a lot of twigs and stuff that my wife will be cleaning off, I think. Okay, let's take that piece there. And this one, I think it's got a shaped up a little bit. This is rubbery stuff. There we go. Just taking off that hardened stuff now, eh? Comes off pretty easy. This is actually a pretty nice chunk here I got.
Oh, maybe clean it.
Yeah, I've been cleaning it up pretty good. Okay, I think this one here could just go as one piece. Yeah. More stuff for the scrap, for the stew pile. Okay, what do we got here now? Got a pretty nice chunk of meat here. That's actually not bad at all. It's probably the nicest cut coming out of here. Okay, my wife's gonna be happy with this one. She's not gonna be so happy with some of the other ones. Now I need a break again. So what do we do next? There's still a bit of meat on the back side of this thing here, so we'll cut that out. Takes a little while to do a front leg. I mean, for some people, I'm sure they can do this stuff real quick. They know the method. But I'm just showing you how it is for a regular guy, because a lot of us, we don't want to pay butchers to do everything. It's like building a house, you know. Might take you longer to do it than an experienced framer, but you know, sweat equity. Got nothing else to do. You can save money by using your time. Now, let's see here. Okay. There you can see I got the meat off the shoulder blade there. You can take these guys off. And these shoulder blades are good for if you want to clean them off really good, get the meat off them. You can use them later on for calling moose. They make a real good sound when you scrape them against the tree. Sound just like antlers bashing against the tree. Try to show a little more to that one remaining camera's angle. Oh, there's another chunk of meat. And as you can see, you now have the top part of this leg done. And all that's left now is the hind leg. And I only got one camera left to show it with. So take this knee apart here. See how that is? There, now I got less to fiddle, wobble around with. I'm going to leave that outside on the table for the birds to pick at, and we might use that for moose call. There's not much for meat there. Now, I'm going to take this guy. This knife is getting dull, I think. Very dull. See if that helps. Oh yeah. Now I'm cutting. This This is basically scrap. It's worth it getting this piece of meat out, but I will. There we go. Pretty coarse meat.
They're all ground for ground meat.
Yeah. Okay, let's just cut through here. Yeah. Just like paper. Okay. There we go. And that's about it. Hardly anything left on there. Practically nothing. So folks, that was a long video, and I wonder how many of you stayed till the bitter end. It's taken quite a while. I'm going to time this later on, but it definitely took a while to get this done. So I hope that if you're having to do this task yourself down the road, that watching this might be of some assistance to you. Don't poke yourself in the thumb like I did. At least there was a little drama this way. But long video. So I'm gonna call it quits here. I've got to move on to the final front leg. So from the Weighted Native Chronicles, I just want to say thank you for watching and putting up with my slowness. I hope you got something out of it. Please subscribe, click the like button, and ring the bell for notifications. I'll catch you next time.
이때 쪽 때내라 깨 해보지 이게 나지